Hi guys, it's Jessica Warziniak here, and I'm here to show you my week 2 submission for Nails Magazine's Next Top Nail Artist competition hosted by CND. This week's challenge is called CND Couture. CND and Nails Magazine asked us to choose any look from the history of Paris Fashion Week and to make a set of 10 nails inspired by that look. We were asked to include elements of beading, stitching, or embroidery in our look, and I chose to add all 3. I'm so excited, and we've got a lot to unpack, so let's dive right on in. So the first thing I was drawn to was obviously that this girl is holding a head, but the more I looked at it, the more I just loved it. I'm obsessed with the mixture of patterns and styles, and it is right up my alley. I started off with shaper gel and some tips. These are from Wildflowers. I decided to keep them a little bit wearable because I wanted them to still be runway ready, I guess. So I adhere them with the shaper plexi gel because it's nice and strong and super clear. I flash cured in between, and then I went in for a full cure, and then I shaped them out. And then here we go, we're ready for the set. So these couple of nails are inspired by her skirt and then a little bit with the top. So we custom mixed a color here and then put a matte top coat on, and then I went and drilled some holes because this is going to be the stitching portion of this manicure. Since we're going to be embroidering later, I wanted to keep the stitching pretty simple, and I just mimicked the pattern in the skirt. It turned out so cute. Next up is starting to make the flowers. Now this was a pretty big undertaking, and I ended up making a million different colors. I used some of the old school CND additives, different polishes, and top coat, and I had a whole bunch of flat pieces like this, and look at all the cute colors I made. I also did a similar technique with water marbling with CND Vinylux, and then I used a piece of flat cured shellac and picked it up, and then I had this cool marble effect, and that's how we made the leaves. And for the flower petals, I cut pieces with a hole puncher. I cut those guys in half, and then using the Barista top coat, I flash cured each piece in place, and once I had them all together, I did a full cure in the CND LED lamp. And look at how cute it all came out. I love it so much. Okie dokie, it is time for my favorite part, the embroidery. So first, I painted the nail to look similar to the blouse, and then I mapped out where I wanted the embroidered flower to be. This stitch is called a basket weave. So you can see I'm gonna go in and out of each of the strands here. I'm gonna make sure that I alternate which strands I'm going on top of and underneath with each pass, and then eventually it's gonna build up bulk and it's gonna look like a flower. And here is the finished nail, and I am officially addicted to embroidering on nails. It is so cute. Now that I have embroidering on nails on my resume as an expert level, I'm going to teach you guys how to do it. So first, figure out where you want your flowers. You're going to mark where you want to put your holes for your thread, and then keep in mind that a couple holes are going to be used a whole lot, so those are going to have to be somewhere in a good structure of the nail, and they're going to have to be a decent size. I also had a little container of acetone here because you're picking up a lot of bulk on the nail when you're, or on the drill bit when you're drilling, so you can just dip it in the acetone to clean that off in between. And then just like when you're hand painting, you want to work in layers. So the first thing that I chose to do was to do the stems of the flowers with the green. And then I went in and I started to work on the flower petals in different colors. So when looking up different flower tutorials online, embroidering is on fabric and you're gonna have a million options for holes. So keep in mind when you're working on the nail that you have to be strategic about the type of knotting that you use, and so instead of going through different holes, I built the layers of thread on top of each other. I also went in with a lighter color green to give some dimension to the leaves, and oh my gosh, I just love how it turned out. It is so stinking cute. So fun. And a little roadblock was the back of the nail was so bulky. So I decided to use some Brisa top coat and stick an extra nail tip underneath it to give it some shape, to shape it like the back of a nail basically, and cured that. And you can see then it's nice and flat, so then we've got some nice room for adhesion when we go to glue it on later. And finally, it is time for the beads. So I took a bunch of needles and I put them on the back of orange wood sticks. I added some clear gel and twisted it around in circles because I wanted it to stay as circular as I could. I don't know if you guys remember, but a couple years ago there was a trend where people were making like big ball flowers out of this technique, and I always really liked it. So I thought it was a great opportunity to bring it back and to make some beads out of it. And once I was finished making these little spears, I just used my drill bit to pierce them, and bam, we had really cute beads. All right, and here are the finished nails next to my inspiration photo. Gucci's inspiration behind this look was to mix together different periods of time with fashion. I just love how eclectic this look is, and I absolutely love how the eclectic nails came together to complement the outfit so perfectly. All right, guys, I hope you loved the nails as much as I did. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.